In module 1 we learn foundation of business analysis. So we learn how businesses work, how bank operate, how software system work, how API connects to system, how data moves through applications, how business process work, what requirements are. So now we are going to move from understanding concept into performing real business analysis activities. So the first skill every business analyst must master: requirement gathering. So what is requirement gathering? So before we understand requirement gathering, so let's take a look why the requirement gathering is the masterpiece of business analysis. Okay, let me go to the job posting. So this is a sample job posting. You can see every job posting has the same structure, job description, and what you will do. So very beginning you see the category requirement management. So this is what you paid for, you are going to get when you hire as a business analyst. The main activity you need to perform, you need to capture the requirement from business owners and convert it into a business system requirement and document those one into system requirement. And how to do this one? So that's why there is a category requirement management. Let's read this one: manage requirements planning, elicitation, documentation through team meeting, workshop, and interviews, right? So how you, here they are mentioning how do you want to gather requirements. So this is not, there is no specific way how do you gather requirements. It depends on the company and depends on the team. That's your core skills as a business analyst, right? So effectively validate requirements and associated process flows and roadmaps through detailed documentation and presentation to executives and stakeholder to ensure traceability and alignment with business objectives. So you are the key person. The team is rely on you because you are going to talk to stakeholders, you are going to read documentation, conference pages, PRDs, user manuals, and their how the business operates today, the assets flow, right? So you are going to learn everything, and you will convert those business requirement into Jira user stories and explain to your IT team for software development, right? And after they develop, and you need to give a walkthrough to the stakeholders. So everything, your day-to-day activity, the core fundamental skills business and required to in order to work in a team, that's a requirement gathering. So requirement management is the important piece of a business analyst day-to-day responsibility. Okay, so that's why you see the without no experience also you'll get a high salary, like starting from 75,000, 70 to 75,000 up to 80,000. Without no experience you can get as a business analyst if you understand, if you learn this requirement management, requirement gathering one skill. Okay, so now let's get back to our what we are discussing. So requirement gathering. Okay, so let's understand how to gather requirement. Okay, so requirement gathering is the process of understanding what a business needs and documenting those needs clarity. Okay, so a business analyst gather information from people who understand the business problem, right? This is very important. Let me read it again. The business analyst gather information, data, okay, from people who understand the business problem. We can call as SMEs, right? The person who is working on the particular flow mean, let's take one example, buying a coffee, right? So the person selling the coffee who is on the counter, that person know what question to ask, what are the pain points, and that's the people you need to connect with to gather requirement, right? So they know the business problem, they are the expertise, and they are the SMEs. So you work with those people and to gather requirement. So these people are called stakeholders. Okay, so the key word here, stakeholders. Who are the stakeholders? Stakeholders is anyone who is affected by a project or has an interest in the solution. So solution is, we are referring to the software application. Okay, so in a bank project, stakeholder may include customers, the people who use the banking services. Example, customers opening accounts or applying for loans, business users, employee who perform banking activities. Example, bank representative, teller. You go to counter, you see the bank representative, loan officers. If you are taking a loan like a mortgage, another kind of loan, and you talk to bank officers, those are we call them loan officers. Customer service agents, day to day you interact with customer service agent in different organizations, and you call if you don't get your money, if you need a cancellation, something you need, and you call a customer care, that's a customer service agents. Compliance team, as a customer you will not talk to compliance team, but these are the controlling body inside the bank, inside any organization, people who ensure the bank follow the regulation. This is applicable for any company you are going to work, HR modules, or like healthcare sector, anywhere there is a compliance team, but as a customer you will not see them, you will not talk to them. Okay, but these are the people who follow the government regulations and ensure the internal team as organization they are following government rules and regulations. Okay, so for example, what these people are controlling: KYC requirements, like what documents need to connect in order to become a good customer. So this is KYC, to know your customer. AML requirement, anti-money laundering requirements, like is there any sanction for this customer, is there any other restriction for this customer. So those kind of regulatory policies, right, like government regulatory policies, everything control, everything make sure that when we are building software applications, the compliance team, OML teams will ensure we are following the rules and regulation or policy and procedures what is required by government and other regulatory bodies. Okay, so that's, this team is very important. So as a business analyst, you have to make sure if you are try to implement anything, make sure is there any compliance requirement or AML requirement, or is there any terms and condition we need to validate, or we need to ensure when we are implementing this one. So you can keep in mind this is very important piece. Okay, so next one, the product owner, the person responsible for defining product goals and priorities. So you will be closely working with product owner. You and product owner, you are closely work with the stakeholders to gather requirements. Product owner, the person who brings the project to your team and introduce you as a business analyst to the business stakeholder. So before you start talking to the stakeholder, product owner closely working with business stakeholder and senior management to get the project to your team. Once the project kick-off happen officially, they announce this project is going to come to your team, and product owner is the bridge between. It's similar. If you can ask me why, if there is a BA, why product owner is required, because BA also bridging between business and IT team. Product owner also do the same kind of team, but which is not true. Product owner is kind of the person who own the entire project, like a backlog. I would say backlog mean all the work for that team. In the product owner, the person who prioritize what we need to work in next sprint, what we need to work in for next quarter. So prioritize the work and also manage resource and everything. But a product owner does not document any requirement, but verbally communicate. And if you need to push something or prioritize something, maybe you are trying to get a confirmation from a stakeholder. For example, you want to know, stakeholder asks, I need a toggle button on the page, but you were unable to provide the toggle button because the developer is saying if you provide a toggle button that will break the existing functionality, right? So instead of toggle button, can we give a drop down menu, right? So you are sending an email to the stakeholder explaining the situation, we were unable to provide a toggle button, but our recommendation to provide a drop down menu instead of that. Will you be okay? Okay, you need to get a confirmation because there is a requirement change here, this scenario, right? So you are emailing the stakeholder and you are pinging stakeholder, try to call them, but they are ignoring you, they are not answering. So that case, you can reach out to product owner and you can copy the product owner and you can say, ask the product owner, hey, we try to get this confirmation because this is the recommendation from the IT team, could you please help me? So that case, product owner can jump in there and product owner can help. So product owner is the person overall oversee the entire project. It's again, don't confuse with the project manager. Product owner is different role. Product owner prioritize all the work. So we'll discuss more about the product owner role and BA role, but it's not the similar, but product owner can chime in any situation if you need help to get the answer from stakeholders. Okay, so here the person responsible for defining product goals and priorities. So this person specifically related to product. So there will be a different product owner for onboarding, there will be a different product owner for lending product. So every product there is a different product owner because they are the one responsible for enhancing, they are the responsible for keep the quality, keep the product enhanced particular under their goal. Okay, so the technology team, people who build and support the solution. Example, developers. This the team you are going to work. There will be developers, solution architect, and design people, and database specialist, testers. Okay, so these are the people. So product owner, scrum master, business analyst, top tier here, and you will be working with developers, tech leads, and solution architects. So solution architects may not be in your team, and database specialists may not be in your team, but I have listed here. But these are the people. Shared resource, we would say. These are the translators, AML team. These are the shared resource. You have to work with them. But your immediate team, you will see developers and product owner and the scrum master. Some team we don't have scrum master, but product owner, business analyst, developers, and testers. These are the 4 people. So let's see a real banking scenario. Imagine you are a business analyst working at a bank. The bank says we want to build a new digital loan application system. So your job is not to immediately write requirements. First you need to understand the problem, right? So keep in mind what are the question you need to ask when you get a scenario to work on. So you need to talk with stakeholder. Step 1, how you will understand this one, because remember these people are the specialist or expertise or SMEs on their job process flow, right? So they know very in and out about that flow. So you have to listen first and try to understand the problem, what they are trying to convince to us. Okay, so as a BA you may ask what features do you want. Okay, so you are asking what feature you want to ask. A good BA ask instead of, because business they don't understand features, you can ask instead of feature. Yes, when you are talking to your team, developers, testers, you can mention features, but instead of that you can ask when you are communicating with the business stakeholders, you can rephrase this question, what problem are we trying to solve, right? So current situation, customer visit branches for apply for loan, problem long waiting times, manual paperwork, employees enter information manually, customers cannot track application status. The business goal, create a digital loan application experience. Like it's like a self checkout. You have seen in a big supermarket they have a self checkout. Similarly, we are providing a digital experience for the customer, who they can customer can go online, they can provide their information and they can apply for a loan, and they can track the application after they submit until they get the money, right? So this is very user friendly solution. Step number 2, identify the right stakeholders. Okay, so how do you identify right stakeholder for each project? This is the question most of BAs, new BAs is asking me. Like every project you have a different stakeholders. So how do you identify is this the right stakeholder? So let's try to understand how we can identify the right stakeholder. For a loan application system, you meet with stakeholders. Let me make this one. So stakeholder is customer, so you will be not talking to customer, but you can play around the test portal as you can act like a customer. You can apply some loan in the testing and environment and see what a problem as a customer is facing. That's the first initiative here. That's why you see you will be not talking to the customer, but you can, as a user, you can test the portal before you write the any requirement. Okay, so that's the first step. You have to know what customer is doing. That's the first step. That's why stakeholder number one is customer. Second one is loan officer. So now you apply the loan like a customer. Okay, so you have to go through the customer journey. First you need to document as is flow. So here that's why you need to try that product. You need to do all the activities whatever the customer is doing, or you need to get to know the customer journey. That's the first step. So now once customer is applied, what happens that one? So that's the second process. The loan officer will process the loan. So now you have to act like a loan officer, and you need to learn, you need to document what the loan officer is doing after he received the application, right? So now your third step, you need how the credit team is processing this one, what information they need, what outcome they are giving, what the result, all the journey here in the number 3 you need to learn. So now the compliance team, what are the regulatory compliance requirement involved in this one, you need to learn that one. So finally system capability. So system capability you cannot do because this is in the solution architect or technical lead. They will have to design the design. So now up to 1 2 3 4 you capture everything, set up a call with your tech lead, senior developer and the solution architect, and you can discuss these are the business requirements. So they will come up with the system capabilities like architectural diagram or sequence diagram. Okay, these are the components. I'm going to talk to this one. UI talk to database through the APIs. So they will come up with the plan, how many APIs required, how many tables required, what you need to enhance. So once that have, you can, they will give a walkthrough to entire team or the technical team. So technical team have a kind of an idea what we are going to build, and in the meantime you can create your epics and you can break into user stories and you can start grooming the new user stories. So if there is any technical question, tech lead can answer because they have the same design, system capability, system design, and you have the business requirement documentation like a Confluence page or BRD, or you have a detailed diagram to show the big picture. Okay. So step number 3, ask the right question. The business analyst must ask question that uncover details, like for example process question. How does the current process work? We discussed already what happened first, what happened next, who performs each step, who are delay, where the delays are happening. You can create a swimlane diagram to understand this process. Okay, so business rule question: what rule must be followed after customer provide this information in the back office loan officer? What rules are validating, right? For example, what's the minimum credit score is required, what documents are mandatory, who can approve a loan? So data question: what information is required? Example, customer information, employment details, income information, credit history. System question: what are involved? Example, mobile banking app, loan processing system, credit bureau system, core banking system. Okay, so again I'll repeat, you cannot memorize everything, so that's why it's document. I can share this document, but you can have a template, right? So process question, you can have a category process question, what will happen, right? So first step, second step, what's happening last, and business rule question. So you can ask whatever business rule at that point, you can have a section so that you will not forget. So process question, business rule questions, and data question. What information we'll collect from customer, right? That's a data question. System questions. What systems or components are involved? If you don't know full, that's okay. Just have a category. So you when you are going to a meeting, you should have a Excel sheet or Confluence page. I would recommend to have a spreadsheet open so that you can keep on documenting, and later on, once everything clear, you can convert into um, um, requirement. You can use Word or you can use Confluence. That's up to you. But I would recommend at least have some sort of note taking application. So I prefer to use Excel because I can easily segregate for what application, what project we are working. So I can have a tab and I have screenshot and notes and everything. So I have all my required information in one place, one spreadsheet. You can open as much of as tab whatever you need here, so that this will be easy. So this is how I work, but that's a personal preference. But what I meant to say, you should have something to get your notes. Okay, so now next we'll move on to requirement gathering techniques. Okay, so again, these techniques are written in the book. There is nothing written on the stone. Based on your personality, based on your interest, based on the people group you are going to work, you need to pivot, you need to adjust how do you want to communicate, how do you want to work with them, right? So these are just to give you an idea. Like for example, I can tell you, if you are going to learn swimming or driving, I can tell you, okay, jump or start driving. So how you can learn, first you need to experience, right? Like no one can teach you these kind of activities. You do this. Yeah, we can give you the strategies, techniques work for us, but it's not something I found sometime it may not work for you. So you can learn your own technique, but I can share my experience and whatever written on the books. So you can change your strategies. You should have your own strategies. So yes, interviews are best practice as one-on-one discussion with stakeholder. For example, BA interviews with loan officer. Question: how do you process loan application today? What problem do you see experience, right? So if you go to interview, these are the expertise you are talking, so you may not know about more detail about this flow, so they'll start talking and give all the details. So maybe the good good practices, I would recommend ask the stakeholder if I can record this conversation, right? So at least once you are done with your meeting, you can come back and replay, or maybe you can get a transcript so that it's in written format. You can read and understand the flows when you're working with interest. Make sure it's difficult to take notes when they're talking fast, because they're going to give you more details. My recommendation is recording with the transcript. If not, then make sure you take note if you don't have this options. Okay. Next one, workshops, a meeting with multiple stakeholders. So again, if you are not expert, like you are a student, you are first time going to work on a flow, so that's why very important to become a business analyst. You should understand the domain very well, then only you can work comfortably. Otherwise you will be lost, because you are talking to the expertise SMEs who worked on those flows like more than 10-15 years, so they know in and out. They will use specific terminologies which you will not understand related to that business, right? So that's why very important, if you want to be the middle person, you should know what they are talking about. I'm not saying you have to know how to do those business process. What I'm saying, you need to understand their language, their terminologies. So before you go to the meeting, you have to do a lot of reading, you have to be prepared, and questions. So worst case scenario, you can ask if you can record this conversation for the future reference. So that's how you can get it done your job. Okay, so don't worry, like no one knows everything in upfront, but the once you start working on a project, you will get to know. That's why I said these techniques are just a recommendation, and you can can get your own strategy which will going to work for you. Okay, so workshop is your next requirement gathering technique. Example: participants, business team, compliance team, technology team. There are multiple teams will be there in a call. I'm not saying these are the all teams, but it depends on the project and company you are going to work. There are multiple teams in a call. That's what I want to say when you're handling a workshop. So you don't need to lead the workshop, and you can set up the call, but if you are leading the workshop, and you have to make sure you prepare everything. Okay, so understand the requirements together. Sometime product owner, if you go to product owner and you can just say maybe we need a session with the stakeholder, all the stakeholders, so product owner can lead the session. You have to take notes and ask question, prepare for it. Okay, so next one, number 3, observation. So observation is the best method I would use. Watching user perform their daily work, right? So this is if any new project, any manual work brick project starting, so this is the method I will use, because I'll be, so let's say you are enhancing, you are building something for the customer care agent, so you have to, I will be with them job shadowing, right? I'll be sitting with them and I'll watch how they receive the call, what they do on the computer screen, and what are the different scenarios and use cases they are handling, right? So I can take notes, right? I can see and I can take notes. And for sure, after you take notes, and there will be a user manual, there will be documentation, how to train new employees that particular job, right? You can read those user manual, and now you go back to workshop and interviews. Now you know what they're talking about, because you have already seen, you set out the job, you watch the users what they're doing in their daily work. You can relate whatever they're talking about. So this is my best recommendation, observation. As a BA observe how bank employee approve loan. A BA may discover manual step, duplicate work, system limitations. Okay, document reviews. So of course, by default, you will get a document. Any project reviewing existing information, policies, procedure, user manual, existing system documents. So these are you feel you will go back to you are in a school, you are preparing for exam, so that's much of documentation. You get 100, 200, 3, even more than, sometimes you get 1 or 2 page, very rare, but please be prepared. You'll get big documentation to read which you never worked on, which you don't understand, but that's a real life as a business analyst. Sometimes even you work 10-15 years experience you have, if you go to a different project, you have to read those documentation, big documentation, and you need to extract information about the existing procedure. But it's really painful work and hard job to get information, because you may not understand even though you have experience, but as experienced person you will have some strategies. You can comfortably doing that job because you have done previously. That's only different, other than everyone will be feeling the same way, because you have to read and get the information from the documentation. Okay, so again, my recommendation, start with here, then come back to read, because so that you can ignore a few items there which is not required for your project. Okay, so this is the practice things like a BA experience. You are assigned to improve a bank account opening process. Your first meeting with the branch employee, write 5 questions you would ask. Okay, so you can map many scenarios. So if you are planning, if you are watching just to get an idea how to get the requirement, but you are planning to become a business analyst in HR or payroll, accounting system, or like a healthcare entertainment system, so you can get many scenarios, so you can do the same work to identify the right stakeholders here. Okay, so lesson summary: requirement gathering is not about asking, okay, what screen do you want. It's about understanding Okay, so these are, don't think this is what the requirement gathering, it's like a order taking. No, it's about understanding the business problem. I have to highlight everything, the current process as is, the stakeholders involved, the information needed, the rules that must be followed. The great business analyst first listen, so understand the problem and then define the solution, right? So the listen, understand, then go to the solution. Remember this rule: a business analyst does not collect requirements. Again, I have to highlight, okay, we don't collect requirements. A business analyst discover business needs. Okay, thank you very much everyone for our lesson number 1, module 2. I'll see you guys in lesson number 2 in the module 2. Thank you. We learn about requirement gathering. So we learn what a business analyst need to speak with right people to understand the business problem and requirement, right? So this is very important. We know how to gather requirements. Now we want to understand who is the right person. So today we will learn another important BA skill: stakeholder analysis. Okay, a successful project depends on involving the right stakeholder at the right time, because the organization is big and you need to know who are the people you should work with, right? So what is a stakeholder person, group, organization that is affected by the project. So we learned from previous examples. Also provide information about project, so this person can give the approvals and sign off your requirements, make decision about the project, and use the final solution. Okay, so these are directly which team is affected by your development, software development. Okay, simply put, stakeholder is anyone who is interested in the project. Okay, so real example: imagine a bank building a new mobile banking application. Who are the stakeholders? Many people are involved. Customer, again, you are not directly going to talk to customer. Why I mention as a customer? Because customer is the person going to use your solution too, so you have to act like a customer. The customer use the application, so they need easy login, fast transaction. So how you will come to know? You have to test the flow, you have to apply application like a customer, then you will understand these things. Okay, simple navigation, secure access. Customer service team, they help customer when problem occurs. They needs ability to review customer issue, access to customer information, tool to resolve problem. Business team, they define business goals. Their needs: increase digital banking usage, reduce operational cost, improve customer experience. Okay, compliance team, we already discussed this one. They ensure regulation followed, customer verification, audit information, regulatory reporting. Security team, they protect the customer information, record fraud analyst, strong authentication, fraud prevention, data protection. So technology team, they build support and solution. They need clear requirements, system understanding, technical specifications. So this is your team you are going to work on. So why is stakeholder analysis is important? Imagine a BA creates a loan application system but forget to involve the compliance team. What could happen? The system may not collect required documents, the system may not follow regulations, the project may be delayed. This is why stakeholder analysis is very important. Stakeholder definition: a business analyst asks is who is affected by the change. So this is how you identify who are the right people to talk. So example, for new digital loan system, affected people: customer, loan officers, managers, compliance team, technology team. Who provide information: example, loan officers explain the current loan process, compliance explain regulatory requirements, technology explain system limitations. So why I am again and again I'm providing this information? So you just need to get the pattern, you just need to get the checklist for every project. This is the route you need to follow. So that's why I'm iterating again and again how you can start working as a business analyst. Who make decisions? Product owner decide feature priorities, business manager approves business changes, stakeholder metrics. A common BA technique is power and interest metrics. It help understand how to manage stakeholders. High power, high interest. These stakeholder need close attention: product owner, business sponsor, project manager, communicate frequently, right? Anything changes, these are your high interest, high power people, right? Product owner, business sponsor, project manager, these people. High power but low interest. This stakeholder need updates. Senior executives be approach provide important. So if directors, VPs involved, so these people are high power but low interest on the project. You just need provide important information only, right? So that's the key key part of your business communication of a BA, to whom what information need to give, right? So low power, high interest. So these stakeholders are need involvement. Daily user of the system, bank employees, BA approach. So like the person who's working on the floor, back office agent. So like example, loan officer, right? Bank employees, so they have low power but high interest because they are the one going to use the system. So collect feedback regularly. So after you build, just show to them, see is this what you intended to see, and their feedback is very important. Low power, low interest. These stakeholder require minimal communication. People indirectly affected by the project, like if there is any other team, you can have send a communication, right? You don't need to invite to the meeting. So but if there is a dependency, you just need to let them know. Banking project example, create a new online loan application system. So stakeholder, customer, user system, understand customer need, loan officer process loan, understand current process, credit team review application, understand approval rules, compliance team ensure regulations, capture mandatory requirements, developer build solution, understand the system behavior, tester validate solution, understand the expected results. So this exercise, things like a B exercise. A bank wants to introduce a new feature. The feature is customer can temporarily freeze their debit card using the mobile banking. So this is the scenario. Identify the stakeholders. So right here, customer need, okay, fraud team, what is the need, customer service team, technology team, compliance team. So you can, if you don't know, maybe you can Google it, you can find information. If you I am recommending to do this exercise because it's not just following the course. This is how you start working as a business analyst. So I am asking, I have provided you only one scenario, so you can list other scenario. You can just go to Google or some other tools and get as many as scenarios in your domain, and follow the same thing. Who is the customer? Customer is the user, right? User. What are the team involved here? The technology team, it's going to be the same team. We have different team. You can list it here and you can write one line what their need is. Okay, so lesson summary: business analyst cannot work alone. Successful project require collaboration with the stakeholders. A BA must understand who is involved, what each person need. That's the exercise you are doing, and who make decisions, and who provide information to you, right? Remember this rule: the quality of requirements depends on the quality of stakeholder conversation. Thank you. That's the end of lesson number 2, which is 12 overall from the module 2. I'll see you guys in the lesson number 3 of module 2. Thank you. Learn about stakeholders and how business analysts work with different groups to understand the business needs. So today we'll learn about one of the most common business analyst deliverable, the business requirement document, which known as a BRD. Okay, so we are going to learn about BRD. So in the BRD, help ensure everyone understand the business problem. 4 categories: the business goal, and the project scope, and problem proposed solution here. Okay, so think of a BRD as a blueprint before construction begins. Before a house build, architect create plans. Before a software solution is built, business analyst document business requirement. What is a BRD? BRD stand for business requirement documents. A BRD describe why the project exists, what business problem is being solved, what outcomes are expected. A BRD focus on business perspective rather than the technical team. Okay, remember, so we are try to give the clear understanding about the project writing the BRDs. So why do we need a BRD? Imagine bank says we need a better loan system, different people may interrupt that statement differently. A manager may want faster approvals. A loan officer may want fewer manual tasks. Customer may want online applications. A developer may not know which problem to solve, right? So different stakeholder has a different perspective of their piece, but whoever going to build that, the developer who's going to program, he doesn't know or she doesn't know what problem we try to solve. So that's why the BRD create a shared understanding. Banking scenario, let's imagine a bank wants to improve its loan application process. Current challenge, the customer must visit a branch. Application are paper-based. Approval takes several days. Customer cannot track application status. The bank wants a digital solution. A business analyst is assigned to create a BRD. Common BRD sections. Let's review the most common section, project overview. This section explains the project at a high level. For example, project name, digital loan application system. Purpose, allow customer to apply for personal loan online. Okay, so business problem, what problem are we try to solve here? Example, customer must visit branch to apply for a loans. Manual processing causes delays. Customers have limited visibility into application status. Okay, so these are the problem we try to address. Business objectives, what does success look like? Reduce loan processing time, increase online application, improve customer experience, reduce manual effort. Okay, so these are the problem we try to solve. Okay, project scope defines what include in the what is included. In scope, online application, document upload, application status tracking, customer notification. What features will be included? That's what we are listing here. Out of scope, mortgage applications are out of scope, business loans are out of scope, credit card applications are out of scope. Okay, we need to mention these things in the business BRD document. Stakeholders, you have clear understanding about stakeholder. We just spoke about stakeholders, but here you need to display stakeholder. Customers apply for a loan officers review application, credit team evaluate credit worthiness, compliance team verify regulations, technology team build solution. Okay, current state as is, describe how the process work today. Example, customer visits branch, completes paper application, loan officer review documents, credit review is completed, customer receive decision. Okay, so this is the flow. Future state, describe the desired future process. Example, customer applies online, document uploaded digitally, automated verification occurs, applicant status available online, customer receive digital notification. Okay, you can put side by side to compare this one. Okay, high level requirements, list major requirements. Example, requirement 1, the system shall allow customer to submit loan application online. Requirement 2, the system shall allow customers to upload support documents. The system shall display application status. Requirement number 4, that system shall notify customers when status changes occur. Okay, so I would like to have numbering so that we can refer to the section, because usually BRDs are have multiple pages, so it's important to have some sort of numbering to track their requirement. So this exercise, think like a business analyst, notice something important. A BRD does not describe database tables, very important, so we don't need the technical detail here. API specification, programming code, these details come later. The BRD focus on business goals, business problem, business need, expected outcome. So keep in mind these 4 are the key important things we should see in a BRD. Sample BRD template, project name, business problem, business objectives, in scope, out of scope, stakeholders, high level requirements. Okay, if you can fill up this one, and yeah, you will have version control and other stuff and everything. So those are you can include, but these are the main thing. Expertise, I'm talking about the beginner level, not the experience level. So beginner level, if you can include this one, rest of the detail you can add. You can get a sample copy other BAs created, and if because these are the one going to change, but the other things you just need to change the name or add few details based on the template you are going to follow. But if you don't have a template, this is a good template. You can use this one as a beginner. Okay, so think like a BA exercise. A bank wants a customer to temporarily freeze or unfreeze their debit card using mobile banking. So create the following, create the BRD. So business problem, business objective, two high level requirements, lesson summary. So you can create multiple BRDs, get multiple scenarios here. You can Google it and you can get multiple scenarios based on the domain you are going to work, and keep on work on this exercise. Okay, this four until you get used to how to write a BRD. So lesson summary, a business requirement document helps align business and technology teams. A BRD explain why the project exists, what problem is being solved, what success look like, what is included in the project. Remember this rule, a BRD tells the story of the business problem before anyone start building the solution. Again, one more information I want to provide you here. If you are going to work in an agile team, you don't need to create BRDs, but at least you are a beginner. If you are a beginner, I would recommend you to start filling the four information which we need for here should be included in the BRD. So you don't need to capture anywhere, but it's just for your own learning purpose. So now the projects, when projects start, they provide a BRD. You need to create user story, but let's assume you don't have a BRD or any other requirement. You get the requirement from the scratch before you create your Jira stories. You can have some sort of understanding what this BRD component here. Okay, so I highly recommend to start capturing, writing this information when you are gathering requirement before create your user stories, even though it's not mandatory to create BRDs in agile environment. Okay, so that's end of the lesson number 3. I'll see you guys on with the lesson number 4 of module 2. Thank you. About business requirement document, which is BRD. The BRD helps explain why project exists, what problem being solved, what business goals are being achieved. Today we are going to one step deeper. We are going to learn about functional requirements. Okay, so this is where business analysts start describing what the system must actually do. So what is a functional requirement? A functional requirement describes a specific action, behavior or capability that the system must perform. So this is very important. What a feature should do is the functional requirement. Simply put, business requirement, why we are building it. Functional requirement, what must the system do? So here let me highlight here, business requirement, why we are building, what's the purpose, what is the problem we are trying to solve. Functional requirement is what must system do. Okay, very important. So simple example, business requirement, customer should be able to access banking service without visiting branch. This explains the business need. Now let's create a functional requirement. Functional requirement 1, the system shall allow customer to register for online banking. Functional requirement 2, the system shall allow customer to log in into using a username password. Functional requirement 3, the system shall display account balances. Functional requirement 4, the system shall allow customers to transfer funds. Notice the difference, right? So see the pattern. The business requirement explains the goal. The functional requirement explains the system behavior. Okay. Okay. So let's take an example. Project digital loan application system. Business requirement, customer should be able to apply for a online loan. Functional requirements are the system shall allow customer to create loan application. The system shall allow customers to upload supporting documents. System shall validate mandated fields. System shall calculate the requested loan amount. System shall display application status. System shall send status note. So you guys can have the template here, right? So all the systems are going to function similarly, so you just need to change the word here, right? So you can keep the system shall allow customers or users or clients, whatever, right? What need to done here, you need to change the end here only. System shall allow customers to what action. So you can keep these things the beginning and you can change based on your requirement. So there is nothing going to change. You just need to change the wording based on your feature you are going to work. Okay, I will recommend you to have this format. The system shall allow, this one: calculate, validate, display, send, allow. These are the keyword, action keyword, verbs we will be using. It's not mandatory, but I recommend this way the developer can understand clearly. Okay, so you see, allow, validate, calculate, display, send, this kind of thing. So let's practice of a good functional requirement. Characteristics of a good functional requirement. A good requirement should clear. So this is a bad one. You see the bad one. The system should be user friendly. So what does it mean? We don't know what is the definition. Faster, user friendly. So question, what does user friendly mean? Different people may interpret it differently. So in a software development, you cannot assume even baby steps, small things, very fundamental things. You have to elaborate, you have to clearly document, because these your requirements are read by different people. So you cannot assume their understanding, your understanding in the same level. So you have to clearly describe it. Okay, good example. The system shall display account balance on the dashboard after successful login. So we know what's happening. This is clear. Specific bad example: the system should process loan quickly. So how quickly, right? Quickly is a generic word. When it comes to software development, we have to tell like what does it mean quickly. So the system shall automatically route complete a loan application to the credit review team. Good example: testable. A tester should be able to verify whether the requirement works. Example: the system shall allow customer to upload PDF documents up to 10 MB. So you cannot simply say custom. Here in the example requirement we have, right, system should allow. Here the system shall allow customer to upload supporting documents. So this is a vague requirement. Tester can test, but he cannot test specifically, right? So even though you capture as a functional requirement, you have to be more specifically. You have to mention what document we need to allowed and how many, what is the format here. So it's mentioned PDF. If it is PDF, and up to how many MB, right? So you have to give this one because we are working with the system. A tester can verify this requirement. So input, what we need to provide, like what we collect, right, from the customer information, from the UI, what process, what are the business rule we need to run it, and what is the expected outcome. Business analysts often think in terms of input, process, output. So we are just going more deeper from the module 1. So you have to keep in mind input, what is the input, what is the process, what is the output. Example: login. Input: username, password. Process: validate credential. Outputs: login successful or login failed. Money transfer flows: input: source account, destination, transfer amount. Process: validate customer. Core banking: check balance, perform transfer. Output: transfer confirmation. Business rules. Functional requirements often include business rule. Business rules define what is allowed. For example, customer must be at least 18 years old. Loan amount cannot exceed 100,000. Customer cannot transfer more than their available balance. Only active accounts may receive transfer. These rules help guide system behavior. So again, you see, this we know, this is a common sense. You cannot say this is a common sense, but system doesn't know anything. So that's why we have to feed, we have to write, we have to include, we need to program. So you need to include in your requirement this one, right? So think like a business analyst example. Business stakeholder says, I want customers to freeze their debit card using the mobile app. A business analyst asks, what should happen when the customer click freeze card? Can they unfreeze the card later? Should a confirmation message appear? Should we notify the fraud team? Should we record the action? These questions become functional requirement, right? So it's a simple requirement, but you see behind the scene what we need to do. That business analyst questions. Okay, you don't need to come up with anything new. Whatever I am showing you, you can capture this one, you can keep it. For different scenarios, you can just change the wording. If we're saying debit card, if you are doing for loan application, if you are doing for customer gift, and you can just change the use case and you will be asking the same questions. Okay. Example requirement. Requirement 1, system shall allow customers to freeze an active debit card. Requirement number 2, the system shall display confirmation message after the credit card frozen. Requirement number 3, the system shall record the date and time of the freeze request. Requirement number 4, the system shall allow customer to reactivate the card. System requirement number 5, the system shall send a notification confirming the action. Okay, so think like a BA exercise, project, mobile banking, fund transfer. Write 3 functional requirement here. And common beginner mistake number 1, writing the business goal as a functional requirement here. Example, we want to happier customer. This is a business objective, not a functional requirement. Mistake number 2, writing vague requirements. The system should work well. This is unclear. Combining multiple requirements into one. Bad example. The system shall allow customer to log in, transfer fund, view statement, and update their profile. So these are multiple features and functionalities. So do not do this one. So you have to break it down, because we have to program our code differently, separately. These are different functionalities. Better create separate requirement for each section. Lesson summary. Functional requirement describe what the system must do. They help developers build solution and testers verify results. Good functional requirements are clear, specific, testable, easy to understand. Remember this rule. Business requirements explain why a solution is needed. Functional requirement explain what the solution must do. Thank you very much. That's the end of the lesson number 4. I'll see you guys on lesson number 5, module 2. Thank you. Previous lesson we learned about functional requirements. So functional requirements describe what system must do. Example, allow customer login, display account balance, transfer funds, submit loan application. Today we will learn about another important requirement type, non-functional requirement, NFRs. Okay, so non-functional requirement describe how well the system must perform. Let me explain you what is the difference between non-functional requirement and functional requirement. So functional requirements features, non-functional requirements quality, right? So real world example, imagine you purchase a new car. Functional requirements: start the engine, accelerate, brake, turn. Okay, so these are all actions, right? Action verbs. These describe what the car does. Now consider the car shape. Is it reliable? How fast can it go? How much fuel does it use? These describe the quality, right? So software system work the same way. So you have a quality and you have the functionality, right? So functionality is the functional requirement, quality is your non-functional requirement. So that's the way you can easily remember. Okay, so banking example, a mobile banking application allow customers to transfer money. That's a functional requirement. But what if the transfer take 5 minutes, right? So application crashes, hackers can access customer account, the application is unavailable during the business hours. The feature exists but the quality is poor. This is why non-functional requirements are important, right? Quality also required and also the functionality also required, right? So this example clearly tell we can transfer fund, but if it is taking 5 minutes, that's no longer in use, right? So common type of non-functional requirement, performance. One is the performance. So let's understand what is the performance is. Performance is measure speed. The system shall display account balance within 3 seconds, 2 seconds, that's a SLA. The systems shall process fund transfer within 5 seconds, right? So when you move money, when you transfer money to your friend or your brother or sister, and it should reach your brother's account within 2-3 second SLA. Okay. So why is performance important? Customers expect quick responses. Slow system create frustrations, right? So let's say if you I don't know if you have faced it, like you add something on Amazon and if the screen is spinning, if you submit application, if you submit your payment, if the screen is spinning and white screen, are you happy? No, right? Like you are kind of have frustration because you don't know whether the payment is gone or not, and you have to log into your mobile banking and see if the money has taken. Maybe if you submit twice, if you come back and try to submit again, it might go 2 times. So those kind of things happen, right? Those are should be avoided if the performance testing was tested perfectly, right? So that's why this very important non-functional requirement. First is performance, second one is security protect customer information and banking transaction. The system shall require multi-factor authentication. The system shall encrypt customer data. The system shall automatically log users after 10 minutes in inactivity. Okay, so you have noticed if you open your banking mobile app and you forget to close, if you leave as it is, what will happen? Like if someone has access to your phone or computer, they can take over your account, right? So for your safety, that's why system automatically force to log off your account if this is if your screen does not have any activities for more than 10 seconds, 5 seconds or 20 seconds, some based on the company and security importance of the application they are using. If there is inactivity for user, the system automatically log off your account. That's a very important feature of a non-functional requirement. Okay, what is why security is important? The bank handles sensitive financial information, right? Security failures can cause significant financial and reputational damage. Okay, so next one very important non-functional requirement is availability measures how often system is accessible. The system shall be available almost every time. 99.9%, there is 0.01% at the time, because systems failures can happen. It's never unexpected. So that's why 99%, 99 time, almost every time. Customer expect access to banking service whenever they need them, right? So if online banking is unavailable for an entire weekend, customer may be unable to transfer money, pay bills, check balances, right? So that's important very during weekend, midnight. That's the feature of the online banking, right? Like it should be available like 24/7. Reliability measures whether system performance consistently without failures. Example, a customer transfer $500, the money should be moved correctly every time. The system should not duplicate lose transaction, produce incorrect balances. So if you transfer 500 to your sister, it should make reach 500, not to 1000. Like you see the previous screen, if you submit something due to performance, the screen frozen and you submit again, it should not go 1000. It should not go, you click twice, it should not transfer twice, right? So these are reliability. So next important fifth one is scalability. Scalability measures the system ability to handle growth. Today, when you start a business, think like you have only 10,000 customers use the mobile banking application. In future, this means to millions of customers use the application. So when you are building the application, so this is important with the scalability. Like you have to think the future, how fast system can scalable. Otherwise, and this will be a big problem. There will be we have to migrate because otherwise the system performs slow. This is a big concept. Scalability we'll cover in a different module, so I just skip here just to understand what is the scalability. The system should continue performing effectively. It doesn't matter 1 customer or 1 million customers. That's a scalability. So system should be able to handle the scalability. Usability measures how easy the system is to use. Customer should easily find account balances, fund transfer, bill payment. Complicated application may increase customer service calls, right? Even you have seen applications that there is a feature, online feature, but I don't know if they have tested or why the feature is there. You try to upload, let's say you want the online loan application, right? So you have to clearly say whether online application can be used from the mobile app, because now users are most of the 80-90% of online banking users, they are using a mobile app. When banks are building features, they are considering to have mobile first. So they have to test whether customer can upload documents through mobile application, right? So some mobile does not allow to upload mobile document. So we have to make sure can user use the features, the software solution that you are building can be used for all the devices, something like that, right? So usability. So functional versus non-functional requirements. Let's compare them. Functional requirement: the system shall allow customers to transfer fund. Non-functional requirement: the system shall complete the fund transfer within 5-second SLA. Functional requirement: the system shall allow customers to log in. Non-functional requirement: the system shall require multi-factor authentication during login. Right? You see. Functional requirement: the system shall display transaction history. Non-functional requirement: the system shall display transaction history within 3 seconds. Think like a business analyst. Imagine a bank wants to launch a new mobile application. A business analyst should ask performance question: how fast should pages load? How many users will be access the application? Security questions: how will users authenticate? How will customers' data be protected? Availability questions: uptime what uptime is required, when can maintenance occur, right? You have seen some maybe 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, if you try to open some banking site and see this features, so and so features not available until 2 o'clock, right? Especially in the weekend. So scalability questions: how many users are expected today, how many users are expected in the future? So banking scenario project. So BA does not need to define this one, so the technical folks can give you numbers, but your job is to capture this one, ask this question. If there is no non-functional requirement, so you just mark it not applicable. But keep in mind, any project, any feature you are building, you always ask this question so that you are covered, you captured. But your responsibility, you need to capture it, but you don't need to define this one. So as a team, we can decide this one. So example banking scenario, online loan application system. Functional requirement, we discussed the system shall allow customer to submit application. So we are focusing on non-functional requirement: the system shall available 24 hours per day. The system shall support 10,000 simulation users. So why 10,000 here? This is the performance testing. So performance testing, there's a specific team or your tester. I don't know if the testers can do, but most of the time there is a different performance testing team to pass the application, and we have to simulate 10,000 users or customers are submitting application. So we can see if the system can handle the stress or the system can handle the load. This one, okay. The system shall encrypt all customer information. System shall display confirmation message within 3-second SLA. Think like B exercise project mobile banking application. Provide one requirement for each category. Performance requirement, okay. Security requirement, availability requirement, reliability requirement. So again, this is a template, one scenario only I'm giving for one exercise, so you can, based on your domain you are going to work. I'm repeating every time there is a B exercise. It's not going to help you by watching or listening, so you have to do it. I'm just guiding you, I'm just providing information, so you have to do your part. Get as much as scenario and do the same thing, repeatedly same thing, because it's going to have the same pattern for all the projects. So common beginner mistake: forgetting the non-functional requirement. Many new BAs focus on only features, they forget quality requirements. Mistake: writing vague requirements. Bad example: the system should be fast, so always give the timing. Better example: the system display account balance within 3-second SLAs. Treating security as optional. In banking practice, security is always critical. Any application I would recommend. Lesson summary: non-functional requirement define the quality expectation for a system. They describe performance, security, availability, reliability, scalability, usability. Non-functional requirement explain what the system does. Non-functional requirement explain how well it must perform. Remember this rule: customers judge a system not only by its feature but also the speed, reliability, security and overall quality, because the similar features is available with multiple competitors, right? So if your system is slow and easily one click away your competitor, the customer will go to your competitor. So handling the non-functional requirement, it's very important to keep the happy customer service. Thank you. I'll see you guys on lesson number 6. Number 6 of module 2. In the previous lesson, we learned about business requirement, functional requirement, non-functional requirement. Traditionally, business only documented requirements in large documents. Today, many organizations use Agile delivery method. Okay, if you don't know Agile, you are hearing first time, don't worry, we are covered. So instead of writing hundreds of pages of requirement upfront, Agile teams break work into similar process called user stories. So user stories help teams focus on customers' need and deliver value incrementally. So what is a user story? That's what we are going to cover in this one. So a user story is a short description of a feature from the perspective of the user or client. So the most common format is as a user. Who is the user? What is the goal of that user? What's the benefit of achieving that action? Okay, so as a user, I want, so that this the format very simple, anyone can write this one. So just understand the patterns. A simple example: as a banking customer, I want to view my account balance so that I can monitor my available funds. So here the customer in a banking application, there will be a different multiple users, so you have to get the right banking user. So let's say you are building a loan application, you are building the feature for to loan review. So here the user is the banking officer, loan officer, right? Then you write the feature and what's the benefit of that feature or the functionality. Okay, notice something important: the story focus on who needs it, right? That's the user. What they want, that's the feature we are talking, I want. And why they want, that's a benefit. So if you understand who does need what, who needs it, what they want, and why do they want, these 3 questions, if you answer to these 3 questions, you can write the user story clearly. So sometime let's say there is no user, that's okay, you can leave empty. But you are doing for system perspective, just write the system, what they want as a system, I want. So system is not talking, but you are covering on behalf of system, right? So you are the one BA writing. So some use cases you in future you will see there is no user. So what's the system capability you are writing? That case, as a system, you can write a loan system, a loan approving system, monitoring system. As a system, I want, like the system not saying that, but we are building for the system. Here you see what they need, what this system wants to do, what's the expected solution. That's what we are writing right here, so that the user is system, what they want, what the system expected behavior, why they want, what's the expected outcome here. Okay, you will learn more example, then you will understand how to write the user stories. So let's take one banking example, the feature transfer money. So you need to understand the first what's the feature, then functionality. A feature is what you are building, right? Like a mobile transfer flow, onboarding flow, that's a feature, right? Functionality, what's the expected behavior? Customer can log in, customer can move money, so and so. So user story, a banking customer, I want transfer money between my account so that I can manage my finance without visiting a branch. Okay, so why do they want it? Okay, another example, feature debit card freeze. So you get the feature or use case what you are planning to build. User story, a banking customer, I want to temporarily freeze my debit card so that I can prevent unauthorized transaction of my card is lost, right? Is it clear? So one more another concept you will be hearing if you are working in agile environment. What is an epic? Epic is large requirements are usually called epic. An epic is too large complete in single one sprint. So there's a new word, sprint. So we'll discuss what is a sprint, but just focus on what we are discussing, epic. Example, online banking. Online banking is a very large component, right? So this features is very big, it contains many features, right? Multiple features. Think like a bag, like a big bag is epic. Inside the bag you have different candies are user stories. You can have different chocolate, hard candies, soft candies, and lollipops. So still those are candies, right? So you have a bag, but you classified that bag is full of candies or bottle of candies. That bottle or bag is we call as a epic. Inside that we have different type of user stories. Okay, so what is the feature? Feature is a major capability delivered to the user. It's like your candy, right? One single candy, right? You can eat a lollipop and you can eat a hard candy. It's going to be the same, right? Like a different it's a different taste, but the end result is same, right? So you feel like you having a sweet or candy, so you can have a lollipop, you can have a hard candy or chocolate or something. So feature is a major capability delivered to users. For example, online banking features, login, account summary, fund transfer, bill payment, transaction history, right? It's different thing, like a different candies. I'm talking about chocolate, hard candies, lollipop. So these all candies features. Okay, what is a user story? Each feature is broken into small user story, right? When the candy is making, they're making the formula in a bigger level, right? They will make in a big basket, they bake in a big container, and they will broke into small pieces, and they will wrap it up with small consumable. So can you have a chocolate like a 50 pound or 100 pounds or 200 pounds? Yes, you can have a big chocolate with 500 pounds or 100 pounds, but you cannot eat the 500 pounds together. You need to break it, right? So when they are making the candies, they are making more usable, more consumable in a small piece, right? Maybe have 5 gram, 10 gram, or like a small consumable pieces. They wrap it in a different cover, so whenever you feel like eating, so you can have one candy, and if you feel like eating more, you can have one. So that way it's manageable, consumable, right? So features broken into small stories, right? So same concept here. Feature you see, fund transfer, user stories, transfer between own account, transfer to another account, view transfer confirmation, view transfer history. So these are the user story. Fund transfer feature, you can break like a small candies, right? Different use cases. We call these are use case. This is the scenario. Fund transfer is the scenario of that feature, and here we have different scenarios, right? Sorry, different use cases. Epic feature user story. Let's understand again. Epic is the mobile banking, right? It's like a big bag of candy. Feature account summary. So let's say this is a lollipop. Okay, and user story. As a customer, I want to view my account balance so that I can monitor my finances. Acceptance criteria, this is a new concept for you. Let's discuss this one too. A user story describe the requirement. Acceptance criteria describe how we know the story is completed, right? So the developer will build this one, but tester has to verify this one, right? So acceptance criteria will help the testers to write the test cases to validate that one. So definition of done for that particular user story you are working. Okay, so acceptance criteria describe how we know the story is completed. Think like of acceptance criteria as success condition. Okay, so now let's take one example. As a banking customer, I want to view my account balance so that I can monitor my available funds. So this piece you understand, right? So now let's take a deep dive into what is acceptance criteria. Customer must be logged in. System must display all the active account. System must display current account balance. Balance information must be retrieved from a core banking system. Error message must be displayed if account information cannot be retrieved. So the whole let me make little small so that we can understand. So this entire become one piece of user story. This one, let me highlight this one. So this is your complete user story. So this piece you will write who is the person affected, what they want it, why they want it, right? So now acceptance criteria, you are saying that a banking customer, to view the account balance, customer must be logged in. This is a precondition, right? If they cannot log in and they cannot view the balance, right? So you have to give the precondition given. System must display all the active accounts. So you see, customer is viewing a particular account. So customer can have multiple account, checking account, savings account, loan account, right? So these all preconditions. System, if system cannot display all the active account, customer cannot do this feature, right? So these are preconditions. System must display current account balance. So now when the user click on the particular account, it should give the current account balance. So balance information must be retrieved from the core banking. So this is what the user see, but where this information should come, that you are defining. It should come from the your core banking databases, right? So if cannot retrieve, what you want. So this information is important for the tester, right? So it's like a detailed step. So I would say given, these are given condition, what the prerequisite, and then what, when user click on this one, what should happen, and this is when, this is then, right? Like a given, when, then. So given is the precondition. When user click on the account, a particular account, that's a when. Then display the account balance, right? So we will understand more acceptance criteria. So now we are combining two pieces, user story plus the acceptance criteria. That's a complete user story. So why acceptance criteria is matter here? Without acceptance criteria, developers may build different solutions. Testers may not know what to validate. Stakeholders may have different expectations. So acceptance criteria create clarity. Okay. So here this is what we discuss, given, when, then format. Many agile teams write acceptance criteria using this one. Given is the precondition, right? So customer must log in and system should display all the account for us the given. When customer click a particular account to view, right? If customer not clicking, so sometimes tester will blame, okay, tester will tell, okay, we are not able to see the account balance. So we have to ask, did you click the account? The tester will expect system should load the balance when the account numbers are loaded. No, right? So user have to manually select the account number and click view account balance. Even though they select the account number, we are not expected to see the account balance. So they have to click the view account balance option there. So that's why it's clearly you need to document here. Okay, that's a when condition. Then it should display available balance of that particular account. It should not display your entire account balance. So that's very important. Okay. Example, given the customer login, that's a precondition. When the customer select account summary, then the system shall display all active account balances. So this is a different feature than I am talking about here. I select the account number and I click view summary, but here there's a different feature. When the account numbers are loaded, it should display all the active account balance. So you see the way we can interpret whatever the user requirement, we have to write it here. Okay. So another example, given the sufficient fund exit, when the customer submit transfer request, then the system shall complete the transfer successfully. That's another example. Banking story example, freeze debit card. User story, as a banking customer, I want to freeze my debit card so that I can protect my account if my card is lost. Acceptance criteria. This the key skills how you can complete writing the acceptance criteria. Customer must be authenticated. Customer must be able to select an active card. System must be changed card status to frozen. Confirmation message must be displayed. Customer must receive notification. Frozen card must be reject news transactions. If you don't know given, when, then format, but as a beginner you can start writing like this. Okay, this is easy, right? This can follow. You can have this template, like what customer must be do, what customer must be do, and what system must be do, what customer must see in the system, right? Input, process, and output, right? That's what we are displaying here. So think like a business analyst. We are here. Stakeholder says we want the customers to apply for a loans application. A beginner BA may stop there. So a business analyst asks who is the user, what exactly do they need, what information is required, how do we know the feature is works. Those answers become user stories and acceptance criteria. Think like a BA exercise project, mobile banking, bill payment. Create a user story as I want, so that this format. Create 3 acceptance criteria here. Common beginner mistake. Mistake number 1, writing technical task as a user stories. Bad example, as a developer I want the database table, so this is wrong, right? So this is not user focused. Mistake number 2, forgetting the business value. Bad example, as a customer I want a button, so what is the benefit does it provide, right? So you want to have a benefit too. Mistake number 3, missing acceptance criteria. Without acceptance criteria, the team cannot clearly determine when the work is completed, so it must definition of done. Lesson summary: user stories help agile teams capture requirement from the user perspective. As a user story answers who needs it, what they need, who they need it, right? These 3. Acceptance criteria define the condition that must be satisfied for the story to be considered complete. Remember this rule: as a user story describe the need, acceptance criteria describe what success look like. Thank you very much. That's the end of lesson number 6. I'll see you guys with the lesson number 7. Thank you. We learn about user stories and acceptance criteria. So today we are going to learn one of the most important topics of a modern business analyst: Agile and Scrum. If you attended a business analyst interview, there is a very high chance you will be almost every job post they're asking ask about agile, right? So many organizations, specifically banks, use agile teams to deliver software solution. I believe other sectors also, healthcare and HR and finance, other sector, software development also, they are using agile. So agile is one of the key methodology IT teams are using to deliver softwares. So as a business analyst, you must understand how agile works and how you contribute to the process. Okay, so let's take a look what is agile and try to get understand. So agile is the way delivering software in a small manageable pieces rather than building everything at once. Okay, so let's take example and let's understand from the practical example. So imagine you want to build a house. So what is the traditional approach? You plan everything, design everything, build everything, finally you show to the customer, right? Very end. But the problem is, if the customer does not like your final product, the customer may not like the final result, so it's difficult to change. That become very expensive, so you will end up in bad customer experience, right? But agile will address this issue. So agile build small part, get feedback, make improvements, build the next part, get more feedback, continue until the solution is complete. This is how the agile works. So in a small iteration the product is delivered. Okay, so this reduce risk and improve the customer satisfaction. So why do organizations use agile? Let's understand this one also. Agile help organization deliver value faster, right? So if you are a business owner, you are investing huge amount of money, you like to see some outcome, right? Whatever you are building, rather than you wait 6 months, 7 months to see the final product, at least some functionable product you like to see, right? So that's why it's deliver value faster, adapt to changing requirements, receive customer feedback early, reduce project risk, improve collaboration, right? Next part is agile. In agile, Scrum. So let's understand what is Scrum. Scrum is the most common agile framework. So think of agile as the philosophy, think Scrum as the specific way of applying agile. So let's understand this one too. So Scrum provide roles, events, artifacts that helps team work together effectively. Okay, so let's understand what the Scrum team roles. So Scrum team usually include product owner. So you know about product owners. The product owner represent the business. Responsibilities are define priorities, manage product backlog, clarify requirement, make business decisions. So example, product owner decide which banking features should be delivered first. Okay, that's the main role of product owner. So next role is Scrum Master. But if you are even though you are in agile, some team may not have a scrum master, but this is also one of the key role in agile framework. Okay, so the scrum master help the team follow scrum practices. Responsibility: facilitate meetings, remove obstacles, Support team collaboration. The Scrum Master does not manage people. The Scrum Master help the team succeed. Okay, that's it. So there will be a stand-up call, and the stand-up call Scrum Master will ask what's the update. If you have any blockers, you can let us know. Let the Scrum Master know. You can copy the Scrum Master. She can, or he can go back to the right owner and ask help to remove that blocker. Okay, so development team, this is the main team you are working. So the development team builds the solution. Example, developers, testers, UX designers, and architects. Okay, so business analyst, this is you. You know what is your responsibility. In many organizations, business analysts work closely with the Scrum team. Responsibility: gather requirements, create user story, define acceptance criteria, clarify business rules, support testing. The BA help bridge the gap between business and technology. So this is what we have been learning so far. So what's this sprint? You will be hearing sprint. A sprint is a short period of a work. Most organizations use 2-week sprint or 3-week sprint. So this is the standard. But if you see 3-week sprint, you don't need to be surprised. Okay, so during a sprint, the team completes setup user stories. Example, sprint goal: improve mobile login experience. Stories: multi-factor authentication, password reset, login error message. The team works on these story during one sprint. So if there is 3 developers, and the 3 developers can take specific user stories, right? Like they cannot take 20-30 user story because sprint end in 2 weeks. Okay, so the product backlogs, you will be hearing these terminologies more often. So the product backlog contains all known work. So stakeholders keep on giving projects to IT team. So the product owner, the business analyst get the requirement, create user stories and epic, keep on adding to the product backlog, and product owner will prioritize which user stories we will be working on particular sprint. Okay, so think of it as a small master list. Mobile banking project backlog: login, account summary, fund transfer, bill payment, transaction history, card management. Not everything built in one. So there are different project scenarios, use case here in the backlog, right? The product owner prioritize the work based on the release. So sprint backlog, the sprint backlog contains the story selected for the current sprint. Example, sprint 1, we will take only login, password, multi-factor authentication. Okay, so only these stories are worked on during the sprint 1. Okay, so rest everything will go to the sprint 2, sprint 3, sprint 4, whatever the sprint currently you are in. Scrum event, let's look at the major Scrum event here. The sprint planning, that's the first event. At the beginning of the sprint, the team decide that work will be completed. What work will be completed? Example, select the user stories from the product backlog. Okay, we'll select all the user stories what we need for the particular sprint. Okay, daily stand up. Remember sprint planning, then daily stand up. A short daily meeting, usually 15 minutes, sometimes it's go to more than 30 minutes. Team members answer, what did I complete yesterday? What did you work yesterday? What I am working on today? Do I have any blockers? This is what I was talking when it's come to Scrum Master. So they usually Scrum Master will host the daily stand-up. If Scrum Master is not available, anyone can host this one. Sometime BA or the product owner or anyone can host this one. So sprint review. Sprint review, at the end of the sprint, after 2 weeks, the team demonstrate completed work to the stakeholders. Okay, so that a stakeholder can see the work and provide feedback. So sprint retrospective or sprint retro, the team discusses what went well, what could improve, what should be differently next sprint, right? So after 2 weeks, this is a very organized way. First we plan what stories we are going to talk. Then we every day we'll connect in the morning and discuss what we worked yesterday, what we are going to work today, and is there any blockers. and finally we complete the sprint. We'll review the stakeholders. Finally we have a retro to discuss what went well, what didn't go well, and what should we improve for the next sprint. This is really a nice organized way to do software development. Okay, so let's take one example, banking project example. Project mobile banking application, user stories, customer login, account summary, view transaction. Okay, so this is the sprint one we are going to talk. Sprint goal: allow customer to securely access account information, and end of this sprint the team demonstrate the completed features, business stakeholder provide feedback. So this exercise thinks like a business analyst. Imagine a sprint planning is about to begin. The BA must ensure user stories are complete and groomed, acceptance criteria clear, business rules are documented, stakeholder questions are answered. If the stories are unclear, developers may build the wrong solution, right? So think like a BA exercise. You are the BA on a banking project. A sprint include transfer fund, view statement, freeze debit card. What should you prepare before sprint planning? List 3 items here. Okay, before the planning, what you will be prepared here. Okay, that's your exercise. Common beginner mistake 1: thinking agile mean no documentation. So agile still requires document. The documentation is simply lighter and more focused. Mistake 2: thinking requirements are finalized once. In agile, requirements evolve, feedback is expected. Okay, so the scope creep happen always, so you have to prioritize what feature will deliver first. Mistake 3: attending a scrum meeting without preparation. A PA should arrive with clear stories and acceptance criteria to attend the sprint review and the sprint other ceremonies. So lesson summary: Agile helps teams deliver software incrementally. Scrum provides a framework for Agile delivery. Key concepts include product owner, Scrum master, development team, sprint, product backlog, sprint planning, daily stand-up, sprint review, retrospective. Business analysts play a critical role by ensuring requirements understood and ready for the development. So make sure these keywords are the main keyword you will be hearing day to day your business analyst job. So this you should be familiar with these definitions and how these are working. Okay, so remember this rule in agile business and help transform business idea into clear actionable work that team can deliver during a sprint. Okay, that's the end of lesson number 7 for module 2. I'll see you guys with lesson number 8. Thank you. We learn about Agile and Scrum. So we learn that Agile team organize work using product backlog, sprint, user stories, acceptance criteria. So today we learn about one of the most commonly used tools in Agile software development, Jira. So Jira is widely used by technology teams including banking organization to manage software development work. A business analyst will often use Jira to create user stories, document requirements, track progress, collaborate with developers and testers, manage defects. So what is Jira? Let's understand what is Jira. Jira is a project management tool used by agile teams to plan, track and manage software development activities. So think of Jira as a digital workspace where teams organize their work. Instead of managing requirement using emails and spreadsheet, team use Jira to maintain visibility. So why do banks use Jira? Banking projects involve many teams: business team, developers, testers, security team, compliance, project managers. Jira helps everyone understand what needs to be built, who is responsible, what is completed, what is still in progress. So Jira hierarchy: a business analyst should understand how work is organized in Jira. The common structure is epic, feature, user story, task, subtask and bug. So what is an epic? Let's understand. Epic an epic represent a large business capability. It usually requires multiple sprints to complete. Example: epic mobile banking application. So a feature represents a major functionality. Epic is the mobile banking application. Features are customer login, account summary, money transfer, card management. So these are the features under the mobile banking application. Okay, so user story you know what is a user story. A user story describes specific user need. Example, feature money transfer. User story: as a banking customer, I want to transfer money to another account so that I can send funds without visiting a branch. What is a task? Task represent work needed to be complete a story. Example, user story: transfer money. Task: create transfer screen, develop transfer API, create database, update logic, test transfer scenarios, right? So this is a task. So a bug is a bug describe problem with the system. Example, bug: customer can transfer money when amount is greater than 1000, right? So this the one example. So Jira user story example: let's create one real banking story, a mobile banking application. Okay, account management is the epic, view account balance is the feature. So user story title: view account balance. Description: as a banking customer, I want to view my account balance so that I can monitor available funds. Okay, so acceptance criteria. Before I go here, so let's navigate to Jira. So I'm using the free software. You can go to Atlassian.com and you can use your Gmail account and you can log in here. Okay, you can, yeah, it's free to practice. Okay, so when you land at here, the two things you need to keep in mind here. And this is the backlog you can see here. So I haven't created anything, it just defaulted showing. This is the backlog and this is the board. You can see here what are the, in this sprint we pulled these items, right? To do, in progress, in review, done. You can add the status, whatever the status you need to add. Okay, so you can assign this one to different people. Here you can see I am assigning to me. This one you can assign to another person. Ram, we are assigning to Ram, this one, so you can assign to Ram. So it's saying there's no email ID, so let me assign to me. Okay, because my one is recognized here. So like this you can assign here. So we were talking about creating the user story. Let's create a epic first here. So you can see, okay, so this is the epic mobile banking application. So let's create this epic first. I'm copying so that I don't need to I'll go to list. Okay, create. So here in the drop down, or you can use this one also. Okay, here also you can get what type of activity you are creating. So here you can see the team name is lending team. I selected here. So here I'm creating the epic. Okay, so here you see epic, creating epic. Okay, I press the topic here, just create. Okay, let me open this epic separately so that I can modify this one. Okay, so here you can add description. If there is no description, I am pasting the same thing. You can add more detail. Okay, so description, mobile banking. Okay, so features, I can include all features under that epic so that it's more clear. So I can write epic. You don't need to write what's the epic. So here for our understanding, so these are the, sorry, okay, now it's clear. Okay, so these are the people features under this epic. These are the features. So I'm saving this one. Okay, we are good to go. Okay, so let me refresh. So epic is updated. Okay, so this is the mobile banking epic. So now we'll create a user story. So every time when you create a user story, you need to tag the epic under that user story. So our user story is this, the user story. Let's create this one. So project mobile banking. So account management. Okay, so the user story we are going to epic account management. So under the mobile banking project, sorry, I think we have to use this one more specifically. let me copy. So this here we need a modification. So here we can keep the epic name to account management. Okay, this is the project. We are going to keep the account management as the epic name. Okay, so we are going to use view account balance. Okay, so this is the title, view account. I'm just copy pasting everything, but you can do a good job when you're creating. So here create, I'm using story, I'm selecting a story, and view account balance. This is the feature we are going to work, and click create. So this created. Now I'll open this one in a separate tab, and because I need to update this one, so description is empty now. I'll copy paste description. Okay, so as a banking customer, I want to view my account balance so that I can monitor my available funds. So this is what I'm going to copy. So let me paste it here. It didn't get copied. Okay, I'll write simply here user story so that it's clear. Okay, you can do all the formatting. Okay, I highlight it, and so this our user story. Next portion is the acceptance criteria, right? So let's take a look. What is the acceptance criteria? Given the precondition, the customer is logged in. When the customer open account summary, then the system shall display the recent account balance. So you can add one more acceptance criteria. Given the account information cannot be retrieved when the customer open account summary, then the system shall display that. So this one we consider as a happy path. This one is the exception handling. Okay, let me copy all the both acceptance criteria and paste it here. Copy acceptance criteria. So let's write okay, so that's the acceptance criteria. Let me bold, let me underline. Okay, so what I will use to do, I will put scenario 1, so this way we can track our acceptance criteria. Here we will write scenario 2. So you don't need to do, but I like to do, because that way I can track how many acceptance criteria I have, right? So when I am explaining to the testers, so it's clear, right? So let's read one more time. As a banking customer, I want to view my account balance so that I can monitor my available funds. Acceptance criteria scenario 1, given the customer is logged in, that's a precondition. When the customer opens account summary, then this system shall display current account balance. So that's a happy path. That's expected behavior. Scenario 2, if the customer log in, customer click the account summary, cannot retrieve it when the customer open account summary, the system shall display the error message, maybe system error, or this account does not exist, or something like that. Okay, is it clear, guys? So if you see, refresh this one, so the user story is updated under this one. So I'm the one writing, so it's not assigned to anyone. So if let's say another person, because it's my account, that's why it's my name only showing. So this developer going to work after developer do. So this is how it's moved from one place to place. Okay, during the sprint planning, we will plan how many stories we are going to take. Okay, after stories, here we have priority. Here you see status to do, and also we can give the story point updated. Okay, I don't see the story point to give here, but usually we can give the story point, how many story point this will take. Okay, and we can pull into a sprint. We can assign a sprint. I think I'm on a wrong board. It's saying Kanban. Okay, we can fix it this one, but you get the idea, right? Okay, so BA role in Jira. A business analyst perform many activities in before development. A BA create user story. So now we create a user story, define acceptance criteria, add business rules, right? So business rules, let's say if you want to add a business rule, so you can add here what's the business rule, right? Under you can write this is your ticket. Okay, so you have seen ticket, but main idea is like this. On the business rules, take notes. You can add all kind of information which is useful for the tester and developer, right? So you can add system shall, whatever business rule is applicable, system you can add here. Okay, so review requirements with stakeholder, answers the developer's question. Okay, so during development, the BA clarify requirements, review questions, update stories. So if you write the user story clearly, okay, because someone is going to look at this ticket, right, this user story, they're going to start development. So what I will usually do, like if you are working multiple project, you may have like 50 to 100 I'm saying, just give you an idea. You sometimes you have more user stories, sometimes you have less user stories, but just give an idea. Normal standard way, maybe you have 50 to 100 user stories. You are dealing with multiple project, right? So let's say there are multiple developers and testers working. If everyone try to ping you and going to ask question, what does this mean, what's the scenario one, what will happen if this is not happen, so it's going to eat up all your time just to clarify questions, right? That's not good. So your job is write clear requirements, provide all the information in the Jira task, the user story, and discuss with them before the sprint starts, right? Like I ask question, and if it is unclear, just put TBD or TBC to be confirmed, and get clarification. Do not pull any user story without everything clear, right? Otherwise it's going to take your time. Okay, so that's just a side note. So here testing also can help. So review the test scenarios based on your acceptance criteria. Testers will create the test cases, so they might ask you to review the test scenarios. Okay, so that will help you to verify what we are developing here. So you can just quick glance, you can check if the both the sometime you have one scenario for the acceptance criteria, but they will come up with multiple test cases, right? So for given customer, they logged in, when the customer account summary, let's say they have checking and savings account. So if tester will write, okay, customer login, the use case here, customer have multiple account, right? Customer have one account. So your scenario acceptance criteria covers only to validate the valid account numbers, right? What will happen if it is a closed account, right? So tester have to write many test cases to cover all the angles, right? So that time tester will ask you, can you check my test cases? So you should be able to review and approve them sometime, or you just give the feedback. Yeah, this is a good test case, because you see from here we can come up with 3 test cases, right? One is checking account, savings account, closed account, inactive account, frozen account. What will happen if it is a joint account? Both the people can see the account summary. So there are many scenarios will occur from one scenario, like a use cases or test cases. Okay, so you have to review and work with the tester. So Jira workflow, a typical Jira workflow looks like backlog. You are seeing the backlog here. It doesn't say backlog. I don't know, it's updated, but usually it's I guess this is the backlog. It's saying list. Okay, list of the all the user stories and everything will be here. So next to do. So to do, you can see what are the item here, status. I mean here, if you go here, the to do, okay, what items to pending, in progress. So in progress, you see that's a status. Code review. So here in review, it's saying in review. After developer develop this one, it's go to the code review, so the tech lead can review and approve this one. Okay, and then it's go to testing. Here after code review, we need a add one more status here. It's not the done, so we can add in testing. What is it says, in testing or testing, so you can add testing. It doesn't matter how the team is interpreting. I don't know where it's gone, but you okay. So before done, it's testing. In review, testing, and I think next one is done. Okay, that how the tasker is very easy, right? So it's just a software manage tracking tool. So business analysts create all the items here in the backlog, and as a team you guys will plan, and product owner will prioritize what task go will with sprint, and you guys will start a sprint, and you can see everything on the board, right? So after it's nicely moving to do, from here you can pull up one task and you work and you send to review and send to testing, so that tester will test and it will go to done, right? So it's nicely you can track and you can visualize, right? Okay, example, a customer can freeze debit card. It's go to do, developer start work, in progress, developer complete doing coding, and it's go to the review, and it's push to testing. So tester validate acceptance criteria, and status is done. So think like a business analyst. A developer asks what should happen if a customer tries to freeze an already frozen card. A good answer. The business rule: the system shall display card is already frozen. BA updates user story acceptance criteria, business rule, right? So you see, these are good questions you need to discover before you review the user story with the people. Okay, so common Jira terms: backlog, list up all features you have seen. What is the backlog? Sprint, you have seen selected the work sprint for a specific time period. Issue, so issue you can see here when you create here, you can, when you click this one, it's a issue type. So these are the issue, these are not issues, so it's just saying what type of work you want to do. So these are the issue type. Bug is missing here, but we can add here what are the issue types here. Okay, this is what it's referring to, the issue. Story, task, bug, assignee. So you see we can assign this one. This is the one it's talking about. We can assign this one to different people. Priority, importance of the item. So you see the priority here, different priorities, medium, low, high. Okay, so you can see that one. Status, current stage of example, to do, in progress, done. So you have seen board, to do, in progress, done. Think like a BA exercise. Create a Jira story for customer can update their phone number using mobile banking. So this is a good scenario. So you can go to Atlassian.com here. Okay, Atlassian.com, it's free. Just go to Google and use your Gmail account. You can create a free. So lending team, beginning it will ask what team, what's your software development team. So you can just put whatever the team you want to work on. So just any name, and just follow next. I think I have some other videos how to create a Jira backlog, so you can check those videos, or otherwise let me know. Maybe I will create one more quick video to show you how to set up the Jira backlog. Okay, let me go back here. So you create a user story. So this is now your job. So you create Epic and keep creating user stories using Jira. So it's free, guys. Okay. Add acceptance criteria. So let me know if you have any questions. So put it in the comments also, so that other people also can learn. So write the user story, put it in the comment, and ask if there any feedback, or if you are not sure the acceptance criteria good or bad, just copy and paste it, tag me, so that I can give you the feedback, so that other people can also learn. So you create as much as user stories, so that the community can also learn creating user stories. So our platform is to learn everyone, so there is no right or wrong answer. So best practice make you perfect. So let's start creating user story in the comments. Okay. Common beginner mistake 1, creating stories without acceptance criteria. The team does not know how success is measured. Mistake number 2, writing technical solution instead of business need. Bad example, create a database table for the phone numbers, right? So better, the system shall allow customer to update the phone numbers. This is the way you will write it. And not maintaining the Jira information. Jira should always represent the customer project understanding. Lesson summary: Jira help agile teams manage requirement and delivery. A business analyst uses Jira to create user stories, document acceptance criteria, track progress, collaborate with teams, support testing. Remember this rule: Jira is not a tracking tool for a business, and Jira is where business requirement become actionable work for the delivery team. Okay, that's it for the Jira today. I'll see you guys with the next lesson. Thank you very much. We learn about Jira and how business analysts manage requirement in agile projects. So today we are going to learn another important responsibility of a business analyst: supporting software testing. So many beginners think testing is only the tester responsibility. This is incorrect. A business analyst plays an important role in ensuring that the software solution meet business expectations. So why do business analysts need to understand testing? So imagine a bank's builds a new money transfer feature. So the developer creates the feature, the tester tests the feature, but who confirms is this what business requested, right? So does it solve the customer's problem, or business rules are followed? The business analyst help answer these questions. Let's understand STLC, software development lifecycle. We'll be discussing STLC in the last lesson too, but just to start understanding this STLC process. So testing is part of the software development lifecycle, which referred to STLC. A typical STLC include requirement gathering, analysis, design, development, testing, and deployment, and maintenance. Okay, these are the phases. So business analyst roll through the STLC. Let's see where the business BA contributes. Requirement phases: the BA understand the business needs, document requirements, create user story, define acceptance criteria. Example: the system shall allow customers to transfer money. So this is complete requirement phase. So now the design phase: the BA works with the architect, developers, UX designer, product owner. The BA ensure the design support the business need. Okay, so that's the second phase, design phase. Third one, development phase: answer developers question. So once your user story is created, you groom it and we plan it, and it's pulled into a sprint. So now developers start coding this one. So developer might have some questions, so you clarify the requirement, and that's the review completed functionality, right? So once the tester tested, it's go to done, and we have the sprint review, and you show to the stakeholder, and stakeholder give the feedback, and the user story is closed, right? So next one, testing phase. Testing. So here review mean I'm talking about the code review. Sorry, it's not the sprint review, the code review. So that after developer complete this one, it's go to the code review. So here here comes fourth step, testing phase. So testing phase review the test scenario, support tester, validate the business outcome. Okay. So type of testing, let's understand common testing type. Unit testing performed by the developer. So once developer develops the small feature functionality, purpose test individual piece of code, except testing the calculation loan interest, right? So small piece, first developer will validate whether it's working or not before he move forward, or he she move forward. So system testing, the performed by the tester, verify the complete system works. Example testing, the complete loan application process. Integration testing, test the communication between system, right? From the UI, mobile banking system, API, core banking, transaction database, or UI, API database, from the front end to end. Okay, so user acceptance testing, UAT, this is a good place you can start your testing as a BA. So this is specifically important for business and UAT confirm test solution meet business needs. Business user validate the system before release. Okay, what is UAT? User acceptance testing of the final validation performed by the business users. The question being answered, can the business user use the solution successfully? So let me add you something. So let's say you are not working as a business analyst, now you are working as security, you are working as customer service agent, you are working on a restaurant. Let's say that company has a software and it's coming, they're improving something, they're asking new features, right? Like a customer can online order online, or the feature is not exist today, your business owner try to add something, right? So you can ask the business owner, right, if we are planning to add something new, can I test this one, right? Because you are not a business analyst, you are working as a customer representative, you are working as a restaurant waiter or something, right? There is high chance sometime business owner will not like, but you can start asking people wherever you are working, if there is any change in your software, can you let me know, I can test. So what you can do, you can write test cases one by one. We have separate video, right, how to write test cases. So start test cases and you start validating, right? Like before, the owner will appreciate if owner can give you a chance, right? If you can participate UAT, but bigger company they will give an opportunity, but if you're working in a small company you can ask this one too, right? So once you participate different UAT testing, and you can slowly have an idea how the software system behaves, right? So in order to write requirements, first you start testing, right? If your current organization is not giving opportunity to do UAT testing, you can, when you go home, you can I think I believe you have a online banking application, right? So get your online banking username, password, and log in, and you can write different test cases, you can write different user stories, right? So bank to all the banks are work similarly. So if you have two different bank account, you can log into your two different online banking, you can start writing user stories, whatever the existing features. That way you can practice for your interview. Okay, that's one side note. So now let's take example, banking UT example. Requirement, customers can transfer money using mobile banking. So the UIT scenario, customer logs into mobile app, customer select money transfer, customer enter receipt account, customer enters amount, customer submit transfer, system process transfer, customer receive information. So you write like a step by step what you need to provide. Okay, that's how you write UIT scenario. Expected result, transfer complete successfully, customer receive confirmation message, account balance are updated. Test scenario was test case. A business analyst should understand the different test scenario, high level situation to test. Example, test money transfer functionality. That's a test scenario. Test case, detailed steps, validate the scenario. Test case, you have a title, transfer money with the sufficient balance. Step, log in to mobile banking, select transfer option, enter valid recipient account, enter transfer amount, submit request. Expected result, transfer completed successfully. Okay, so this is the test case and the test scenario. Okay, you need to understand what's the difference. Test scenario is the high level, what the feature is going to do. Test case is detailed step, what's the input you will give, what are the steps you need to perform, and what's the expected result. These three include in the test case. So negative testing what happens when something goes wrong. Bank must test failure situations always, right? So scenario, customer transfer $1,000, available balance 500. System should reject this transfer, right? insufficient funds, right? So other examples: incorrect password, we need a message, invalid account number, expired card, missing document, card is already frozen and you try to freeze again, sorry. Those kind of scenario, you need the exception message. So defect is the bug, right? The defect management. Defect is a problem found during testing. Example requirement: customer receive confirmation after transfer. Problem: no confirmation message appears. The money is successfully transferred, but customer didn't get a confirmation message. Okay, what we do? This become a defect, right? Because this is covered in requirement, but this is not happening in the system. So defect information, a good defect include like when who create defect, the usually tester create, but if you find, you can also create. So example, transfer confirmation message not displayed, step to reproduce. So you have to give the step to reproduce, very important. Otherwise the person who is going to address it, going to take a look, the person doesn't know, he has to connect with you, right? So please include a step to reproduce. If you are creating bug, how to create a problem, expected result, what should happen, and actual result, what actually happening, severity, example, critical, high, medium, low risk. Okay, so you understand, right? Here give the title, step to reproduce, what you are doing, and what's the expected actual result, what you are seeing, right? How critical this one, right? That those are should include. Think like a business analyst. Tester say transfer feature works, but I need confirmation. Question: what happens when a customer transfer money after their account is closed? The BA should provide, business rule, closed account cannot perform transaction. This become requirement clarification, acceptance criteria update, test expectation. Okay. The exercise feature: customer login, create 3 test scenarios. Customer login. Okay, so if you don't understand, you can log into your online banking, see if you can come up with 3 test scenarios. So test scenarios different, test cases are different. Here you just write the one line what you try to test. Okay, create 1 negative test cases. So if you provide incorrect username password, what will happen? So like you are clicking the wrong bank portal or something like that, you can come up with many combination of negative test cases. Okay, common beginner mistakes. Mistake number 1: thinking testing start after development. Testing should be considered when requirements are created, right? So this is how I gather requirement. First I'll go to a testing portal application, I use the credential and I log into the system and see what's happening there. If it is a new feature, if there is existing features behave similar way, I grab some screenshot and I'll show to the tester and architect and everyone. I'll consider can we mimic this one, right? So if you have a software already built and you try to enhance or try to add more feature, that become very easy to write requirements because you already have some base or reference. You can log in and you can start testing and then go back to the stakeholders and listen to them and get the feedback from them, or like work with them, and now you know what system they are using because you also tested, right? So testing start before the when the requirements are gathering started. Okay, mistake 2: writing unclear acceptance criteria. Poor acceptance criteria create poor testing. Mistake number 3: ignoring negative scenarios. Real system must handle error, right? If you don't tell the system what to do, just the else condition exception handling, the system could crash also, right? So that's why it's very important. Same as the happy path, you have to capture the exception handling scenarios so that the developer can code your system work faster and reliable. Okay, so lesson summary: testing ensure that software works correctly and meets business expectation. A business analyst contributes by creating clear requirements, defining acceptance criteria, supporting user acceptance testing UAT, clarifying business rules, validating business outcomes. Remember this rule: a business analyst does not only define what should build, business analyst help confirm that what the right solution was built. Okay, so that's the end of lesson number 9 for the module number 2. I'll see the final lesson with lesson number 10, which is 20 overall, in the next lesson. Okay, thank you everyone. Lesson number 10 for the module number 2. In the previous lesson, we learned about testing and the role of business analysts in ensuring the software quality. So today we are going to understand the complete journey of a software project. So we touched in the previous lesson STLC. So we will learn STLC, which is software development life cycle. This also asks in job requirements, so you have to understand STLC. STLC, software testing lifecycle, where the business analysts participate, how software moves from an idea to a working solution. So this knowledge is extremely important because business analysts work across the entire project lifecycle. So what is STLC? STLC stands for software development lifecycle. STLC describe the process used by organization design, build, test, and deliver software. Simply put, STLC explain how do we build software, right? Why is STLC is important? Without structured process, requirements may be unclear, teams may build wrong solution, testing may be incomplete, project may fail. STLC provide a roadmap. STLC phases. A typical STLC contain the following phases: planning, requirement gathering, requirement analysis, design, development, testing, and deployment and maintenance. Okay, these are the 6 phases. Phase number 1, planning. What happens? The organizer identify the business need. Question: what problems are we solving? Why is the project needed? What value will it provide, right? The project will provide. Banking example: a bank notices customer frequently call customer service to check account balances. Business idea: create a better mobile banking experience. BA role: the BA help understand business problem, goals, stakeholders, high level requirements. Phase number 2, requirement analysis. This is where the business analyst spends significant time. Activities: conduct stakeholder interviews, analyze current process, document requirements, create user stories, define acceptance criteria. Banking example: requirement: customer need ability to view the account balance through the mobile banking. BA creates business requirements, functional requirements, user stories, and acceptance criteria. Phase number 3, design. The technology team creates the solution design. Activities: system architecture, database design, user interface design, integration design. So the BA role: the BA ensure the design supports business requirement. Example: requirement: customer should see real-time balance. BA asks, we will design the support real balance updates, right? Will this support design the support real-time balance update? So that's a BA question. Phase number 4, development. Developers build the solution. Activities: write code, create APIs, build screens, configure systems. The BA role: answer questions, clarify requirements, review progress, support the team. Phase number 5, testing. Testing team validate the solution. Activity: execute the test cases, identify defects, verify requirements. So BA role: the BA reviews the test scenario, supports UAT, confirm business expectation. Phase number 6, development. The completed solution released to users. Example: the bank releases a new mobile banking feature. Customer can use the new functionality. Okay. So the BA role: the BA help confirm business readiness, user acceptance, and documentation completion, right? Phase number 7, maintenance. After release, system required ongoing support. Example: fix defects, improve features, add enhancements. So the BA role: the BA analyzes customer feedback, new business requests, system improvements. What is STLC? STLC stand for software testing lifecycle. Only D is different here. Okay. So STLC describe the process used by the testing team to validate software quality. Simply put, STLC how software is built, STLC how software is tested, right? STLC phases. Typical STLC phases: requirement analysis, testing, planning, test case design, test environment setup, test execution, defect reporting, test closure. STLC example: requirement: customer can transfer money. Requirement analysis: tester reviews what should happen, what rules exist. Test planning: tester describe what should be tested, how much time is required. Test case design: create test cases, successful transfer, insufficient funds, invalid account. So the test execution: tester runs the test. Defect reporting: problem found, transfer complete but balance does not update. Defect created. STLC was STLC. STLC was STLC. Let me make a little big. Okay. The software build here STLC. In STLC testing, Test software. Include development activities, include testing activities. Start with business needs, start with the testing requirement. Involve all project team, focus mainly on quality validation. Okay. Waterfall versus agile. So business analysts may work in different delivery approaches. So waterfall, traditional approach, process, requirement first, design, development, testing, release. Changes are difficult, right? Because it's after complete only we'll show this one. So agile, modern approach, process, simple pieces of work, build, test, get feedback, improve. Changes are expected. So the banking example, the bank wants to new mortgage application system. Waterfall approach, the BA spend months gathering all requirement. The complete system is delivered at the end. That's a waterfall. Agile approach, the team delivers sprint 1 customer registration, sprint 2 document upload, sprint 3 application tracking, sprint 4 approval workflow. Think like a BA exercise. A bank is creating a new credit card application system. During the requirement analysis, what should BA do? Okay. During development, how can BA help? During testing, what should the BA validate? Okay, so you need to find answer for this one. So common beginner mistake 1, thinking the BA only works during requirements. You have seen, right? We are helping in different phases. A BA supports the entire life cycle. Mistake number 2, thinking agile means skipping analysis. That's incorrect. Agile still require understanding business need. Mistake 3, ignoring testing. A requirement is not complete until it's validated. Okay. Lesson summary. STLC explain the complete software delivery journey. STLC explain the software testing journey. Business analyst practices participated throughout planning, requirement. It doesn't matter which life cycle, so you will be in everywhere. Okay, planning, requirement, design, development, testing, deployment, maintenance. Remember this rule: a business analyst involved from the beginning idea to the final delivered solution. So that's end up our module number 2, lesson number 20, lesson number 10. So I'll see you guys with the module number 3 with the first lesson. Thank you. Have a good day, everyone.